photographers, I'm Shannon Eggleston with iMagine, and I'm here today super excited to talk to you about light painting. So iMagine is a photography education program that teaches teens how to be great photographers, also how to tell their stories through photographs. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite parts of photography, which is motion. So capturing motion is a really cool and artistic way you can take a photograph. So before we get into the lesson, let's talk about things that you'll need for today. Number one, you'll need a smartphone or a tablet that has the ability to download an app. The second thing you'll need is to download an app called Slow Shutter. I'm going to show you more about that here in a few minutes, but know that you'll need to have access to Wi-Fi at some point so you can download Slow Shutter. The next thing you'll need is a light source. I'm using a flashlight. You can use any kind of light source that you can move around. So maybe it's an old string of Christmas lights. Maybe it's a toy of some sort that has a blinking light. Maybe you have there's so many cool new LED lights out that lots of kids have. So maybe it's some kind of that, LED light. Any of those will work. So when you have those things together and ready to go, we're going to do some light painting. Here is the app that you'll need to download for today's activity. It's a free download for both iPhone and Android devices called Slow Shutter. So go ahead and download that and we'll be ready to go. So now that you have everything together for today's lesson, let's talk about the shutter. The shutter is a part in your camera that controls the way that you capture motion. If you think about if you've ever been to a theater and seen a play or something, or maybe you've seen something on TV where there was a theater, and the theater stage curtain opens and it closes. And while it's open, you see the performance, and then when it closes, you don't see the performance. Well, the shutter in your camera works the exact same way. When it's open, it allows light to come through into your camera. When it's closed, it blocks all of the light out. So while that shutter is open, anything that your camera has in view, it's capturing as a moment or as a photograph. So can you think of, so to back up, the camera and the human eye have a lot in common. In fact, the camera was designed is a duplicate of the human eye. So the shutter in your camera is very similar to one component in your eye that opens and closes and allows light to come in or to block light out. I'll give you a hint. You're right, your eyelids. Okay, so you can think about your eyelids. If you close them and open them like blinking really fast, think about the little frames or the fractions of a second that you see while you blink. Ready? Let's do it. So weird, isn't this so weird? Okay, but you get what I'm saying. You're seeing like you've captured small moments of what you normally see if you keep your eyes open longer. So that's what a fast shutter looks like. It's when the shutter in the camera is moving quickly and taking pictures that are actually like stopping the motion. So if you think about if you've seen a really cool sports photograph of like LeBron James going up for a shot, and he's stopped in the air and you can actually see beads of sweat coming off of him while he's taking the ball up to the hoop. That's a really fast shutter speed. Maybe even somewhere like 1/1000th of 1 second. 1/1000th of 1 second is a pretty average time to capture that kind of motion. So think about that fraction. That's one pizza cut into 1,000 pieces. So if 1 second is your whole pizza, and you are doing 1/1000th of 1 second, you just cut one pizza into 1,000 pieces. Think about how small each little piece is going to be. That's the same thing with the shutter speed in your camera. So 1/1000th of a second in your camera is a teeny tiny glimpse in time that's so short, it's just capturing one small component of the motion so it looks frozen. Okay? All right, so let's go back to that shutter, your stage curtain. So when the shutter is fast, like the LeBron James picture, then it opens and closes super fast. So what we're going to do with light painting is actually the opposite of that. So let's think about if we left that shutter open for, let's say, 5 whole seconds. 5 whole seconds, that shutter stays open. So instead of taking one pizza and cutting it into 1,000 pieces, now we're going to have 5 whole pizzas. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so you have 5 seconds that this shutter's open. The thing that changes now with your photograph is that while that shutter's open for 5 seconds, anything that moves is going to be, the motion will be recorded as motion or as a blur. So sometimes when you think blurry, you think, ew, I don't want my picture to look blurry. Most of the time you don't. But sometimes you can use blur to be creative and artistic. And that's where the light painting comes in. Okay, so now you're looking at my cell phone screen, and I'm going to switch over and go to slow camera, which is right here at the bottom. You're going to click on slow camera, and it's going to ask you if it can use your camera that's in your device. You say yes, and then it will connect, and it will start to look like a camera, like your regular camera on your smartphone or your tablet. So what you want to do, I'm going to try to keep this in one place. Okay, what you want to do is, go to this little eyeball button here, and we're going to just set up a few settings, okay? And one of these you're going to already know about. So at the top you see capture mode. We want to put the capture mode in as light trail. So light painting, light trail, same thing. So click on light trail. The next thing you see is shutter speed. So that's what we just learned. So here we want to set our shutter speed for 4 seconds. So your range is 0.5 seconds, which is the same as 1/2 of 1 second, or 1/2 of 1 pizza. And it goes all the way up to 15 whole seconds, or 15 whole pizzas. So we're going to keep it at 4 seconds. Okay, the next is zoom in speed. And we're just going to keep that. It should be at 0. Just keep it there. And keep your focus on auto. Don't move this slide bar at all. It's not going to help. And then for sensitivity, you want to put it at a 1. So once you have that lined up, the only other thing you'll have to do is go over to these gears, to the settings. Oopsies. And you'll want to set the self timer for 3 seconds. Or 5 seconds, however much time you think you need before you start. So that way you'll have a little bit of lead time before your camera starts recording the image. And then also, if you want to save each of your practice shots, I would recommend also turning on the auto save here. Turn that on. That way you won't lose any of your really cool light painting pictures that you take. Okay, so once you have all that set up, you'll go back to, you'll be ready to take your picture. Okay, so now you know how to set up the app. We should have the app set up, the Slow Shutter app, on your device. And you should be ready to go. It's time to paint with light. Okay, so the next thing you need is a really dark room. So I recommend a bathroom that doesn't have windows, or if you have a larger closet, one that's big enough for you to fit in that doesn't have a lot of stuff in it, that's a really great spot too. Or if you can just cover up a window with a blanket, or close the blinds and close the curtains to block out as much light as you can. So once you have a dark room set up, or you have figured out where your dark room is going to be, before you turn the lights off, what you want to do is have your camera ready, or your camera on your phone or your tablet, whatever you're using, ready. So the lens that's on the back is a lot better quality than the front-facing lens. So use this back-facing lens. And so what you're going to do is set this up, set your phone or your tablet up so that it can be resting in one place. So let's say I have my phone resting like right here like this, okay? And so then I'm going to come over here on this other side. Let's say my phone's resting on a table or something. I'm going to come over here with a flashlight, and right when I'm ready to light paint, you're going to turn on, hopefully you can see right here, this little button at the bottom is to take the picture. It looks like a timer though, because you have a 3-second timer. So the reason we did that was so that you can hit the timer and then turn your device around and set it up wherever you're going to set it up, and then start taking your picture. I'm drawing a heart.
These flashlights with the little click on and off are great because you can start your line of painting, light painting, and then you can stop it really instantly. You don't have to have that though. Some of the most creative light painting pictures I've seen are with lights that it's just like a random motion. I tried to do a heart, and I also tried to do just some fun squigglies. So, but there's endless possibilities with light painting. Also, something cool you can do is on whatever light source you have, if it's like a flashlight, if you have like a clear piece of plastic or even like a piece of colored construction paper that's kind of thin, you can cover that over top of the light and it'll change the color of the light. So that's really fun too. So that's it. That's how you paint with light. So you know about shutter speed, fractions of a second, and how to use light and motion to create artistic designs. And that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I hope that you feel like inspired about the way that art and science and math all kind of go together. And I hope that you make some really great pictures with light painting, and I hope to see them. So please share them and have fun and take lots of pictures. Thank you so much, and good luck. Bye.